opening up to board discussions and agenda items. Does any board member have any questions on the action items? Sorry. Sounds like a gunshot.
You want to do that now?
Yeah, I think you should add.
Ms. LaForgia, Mr. Rashika has a item that he'd like to add to the agenda.
He wants to add to the agenda?
Can I just explain what that is?
Sure. Thank you.
So as P18 on our agenda tonight would be a motion as recommended, motion to approve as recommended by the interim superintendent of schools, an increase in the pay for substitute teachers to $140 per day, effective November 1st, 2021. The substitute teacher pay is currently $115 per day. As most of you know, it's been very difficult to find substitute teachers, and we believe this would put our district more competitive in obtaining qualified subs.
Okay, thank you. So that's P18, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions from board members regarding agenda or non-agenda items?
I have some questions.
Okay, Ms. Sutherland?
First, my repeated concern that we do not post agreements, contracts, along with our agenda items so that the public can really understand what the board is being asked to vote on. For example, emergency virtual or remote instruction plan was not posted. And I actually have a question about that one. The road forward provides at page 13 that remote instruction should also include those students whose underlying health conditions may make them more susceptible to or exacerbate the symptoms of COVID-19 might be eligible for home instruction in accordance with the process set forth in New Jersey Administrative Code 6A:16-10.1 or by the student's individualized education plan or 504 plan. So how would the public know first that they would be able to avail themselves of this opportunity for their students and maybe ask for it in an IEP meeting if we don't post these documents? And then two, why doesn't the plan so reflect that as required by, or at least as recommended by the Return to Learning document that's posted on the Department of Education website? That's one question I have. Two is, before Ms. Brown retired as the board secretary and keeper of the minutes, she used to put check marks next to the person's voting record in the approved minutes. And I noticed that since she's gone, we don't do that anymore. And it becomes really difficult for the public to look back and understand how board members voted in the past once we published the minutes. So I'm again requesting that the vote actually be reflected in the minutes. I also had preferred, and I did raise this with the superintendent, but he recommends that we still go forward. But I'm just concerned that the 52 hires that are on the agenda for tonight, I thought maybe we should postpone that as a matter of professional courtesy since Dr. Dionisio arrives in about a week or so, but Dr. Rashika didn't recommend that we agree to that. Finally, with respect to the co-matriculation agreement, I wanted to read what our Board of Ethics says for board members. It says in 18A:12-22, in our representative form of government, it's essential that the conduct of the members of the Board of Education avoid conduct which is in violation of the public trust or creates a justifiable impression among the public that such trust is being violated. In reviewing the matriculation agreement, you can see that there are at least 7 opportunities for Ramapo College to participate in the course. So, for example, Ramapo College, New Jersey will verify the descriptions and the learning outcomes are the equivalent of what the courses that they have. They will invite instructors to participate in orientations, trainings, and workshops offered at Ramapo College, New Jersey. Ramapo College will conduct at least 1 faculty site visit. Ramapo College will review and archive course evaluations in accordance with state standards. They will provide transcripts at the end of the course, and they will share their grading system with the high school. So there is significant involvement in terms of making sure that the course conforms to the Ramapo College curriculum. And I just thought, given the fact that we do have a candidate that's running for office at next week's election, that it would be more comforting to the public to just table it and vote on it after the election, so that there can be no feeling of impropriety or feeling of mistrust. So I'd like to make a motion to table the vote on the co-matriculation agreement until after the election. I forgot the number. E2, I believe it is.
Yes, E2.
Needs a second. Okay. I second the notion. Angela?
Mr. Carolyn.
Can we have questions before we vote,
Oh, yes.
please? So, one question, Tony. I
Louder.
just wanted- I
Louder,
wanted-
John.
Can't hear.
Can you hear me, guys?
Yes, louder.
Sorry about that. I can't even see you. So as far as the course is concerned, and Tony, these are probably for you, has the course changed at all?
To my knowledge, it has not changed at all.
I can't hear you. Louder, louder, louder.
Oh, the question is, to my knowledge, has the course changed at all, I guess, since Ramapo College has looked at the course? Okay. The question, is that better? Okay. The question was whether the course has changed since Ramapo College has looked at the course. To my knowledge, it has not. I can tell you that with every other school with dual enrollment, especially with Syracuse University, the teachers at that time actually had to go to training for Syracuse, probably went over the summer for 2 weeks with Syracuse, and Syracuse came in multiple times each year to observe the teachers in the program. So anything that's in the agreement from Ramapo College is similar to what we receive from the other schools. You have to maintain a certain, we look at the grade, we want to know how students are being graded. You have to make sure that the curriculum stays in line with what the actual college course is. What you want to do is not have teachers minimize or lower the standards within the class that are not meeting the college standards, and having students get credit for college work that they're really not doing. So there has to be some review. I think it's good that they offer professional development to staff to keep up to date and have more information. But again, it's all pretty standard and it's healthy. It keeps everybody on track.
And I have a couple questions. How long has this been in place? How long has this class been in place?
As I said before, it's been running approximately 15, 20 years.
Okay.
Mr. Sutherland, can you confirm that for me?
Just
How
wanted to
long the
clarify.
course has actually been running? I'm thinking it's 15 to 20 years.
The question was, how long is sociology been running here in the district?
Yes.
About 20,
Okay.
at least 20 years.
Okay.
Okay, I think that's all I need. And then one last question, actually. Just from a cost perspective, I realize this class is going to go on either way. Is this really the approval of getting the credit for the college credit piece? We're going to do, my understanding, the class is already in process, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so it's just really about making sure that we're able to move the credit into some type of college acceptance.
Yeah, to get the
category.
grading into and make sure the standards remain high, as I said before, to meet the college criteria and to have the students receive the credit.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yep.
So
So
have a
just so,
question.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Mr. Carolyn.
Sorry about that. So I do have a question, maybe it's for Mr. Rosica or for Dan. Have we already heard back from Ramapo, and have they asked for changes to the curriculum, or are they comfortable with what we already have?
I'm going to have Dan answer that question because he's been in direct contact.
Have there been changes requested for the
Sutherland?
class or not?
No, there hasn't. And that's, one of the processes with the dual articulation agreements, and it's not just with Ramapo, it's with some of the colleges and universities. Each one has their own setup, so to speak. But it's typical that when we send off the curriculum for approval and the teacher's credentials for approval by the college and university, when the college looks at that curriculum, they can either reject it or accept it. And with this curriculum, it was accepted. If curriculum is rejected, we could get information back from the college and university that will say, if you change, if you incorporate this, this, and this, then we would reconsider. But we're in that position to either say, okay, yeah, we'll do that, or no, we will not. And with this course, none of that took place. We sent off the curriculum, we sent off the teacher's credentials, everything was approved, which is what brought us here to this point with this dual articulation agreement.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dan. Just one more question. Have we had any complaints about the current curriculum from parents or teachers?
No, there hasn't been any complaints from parents or students about the sociology curriculum taught at either Ramapo or Indian Hills High School.
Thanks, Dan.
Okay. So, Mr. Lim, could you just reiterate what the motion is?
The motion is to table item E2. Would you like me to read E2? Or just summary?
I don't think.
E2 was approval of a dual enrollment articulation agreement between Ramapo College with the Ramapo Indian Hills School District for the
Okay.
current year.
All
So
right.
the motion is to table that motion E2.
Okay, so there was, so Angela, can you do a roll call?
Mr. Carolyn.
No?
Mr. Fortunato.
No.
Mr. Kinney.
No.
Ms. King.
No.
Ms. Koulikortis.
No.
Ms. Sullivan.
Yes.
Ms. LaForgia.
Yes. Mr. Lamb?
Passed.
The motion
Failed.
failed to table.
Okay, thank you. All right.
Sorry.
Any other questions about agenda and non-agenda items? Ms. Rashika, did you have some responses to Mrs. Sullivan's concerns?
No, not at this time. I think looking at the agreement, I think I said what I had to say on that.
Okay.
Ms. Sullivan, was there some other, I know you had mentioned some other areas.
Yeah, just, can we post the actual agreement so the public can see what we're voting on? I know it just seems to be more transparent for them to understand at any meeting, if we have agreements, the plan, for example, things like that. Is there any problem with posting those agreements along when we post the agenda so that they can see?
I don't, Mr. Lamb, more.
It's really that's the district's decisions. Some districts post their contracts, and
Okay.
I'd say most don't, but some do. So we are allowed to.
Okay. So why don't we then plan on having a discussion about that and to see if we can move ahead? All right?
Okay. And then my other question was the check marks on the voting.
Yeah, I think, I spoke to Mr. Demetrio. Do you want to clarify that, Mr. Demetrio, as far as the check marks on the decisions, votes?
So on the minutes, the first minutes I followed were Mr. Lamb's, because he took the minutes prior to me taking the position. And on the minutes, it says action items, and there's a box, and it says the box equals yes. So next to your name, if you vote yes, there's a box. If you vote no, it says no. If you abstain, it says abstain. If you vote no on certain items, it says no on, for example, P1. So I think it's pretty clear. I mean, that's the minutes I followed. If you, Mr. Lamb, would like that changed, they are his minutes, so I'll follow his direction.